What's going on, nerds? Welcome back to Comic Book Nerd Nation, episode number 80 this time. I'm Fox2. We got the whole crew here. Pirate,
Hey.
Topher,
Hey.
and the whole F and Brian.
Hey.
You know what? I've just realized something after 80 episodes of this show that when I start, you fuckers just mimic me.
I was wondering how long it would take him to, that's been a thing for 15, 20 episodes.
That's why we start with you.
I've noticed it, but I'm just like, oh my God, these guys, they fucking. I just think you guys lack originality. That's all.
It's like the Super Troopers thing where they do the repeater game. Okie dokie, silly okie. I'm an idiot. All right. Okay, so a lot of us have been busy this week, and we haven't had a chance to read much in the way of comics, but Topher has a problem with his internet provider, and he disappeared multiple times last week during the podcast, one of which was during what he's been reading. So we're going to give Topher a chance to talk about what he's been reading last week, and then Brian will get us caught up on Secret Wars.
So I read Convergence, and we talked about that a lot last week. So I won't get into that one. But then I finally read Death of Wolverine, which was really good actually. I liked it. I don't know what you guys thought of it, but the artwork was fantastic. The script was pretty good. I found myself wondering for a long time, who were they going to actually have kill Wolverine? Who was going to be the Death of Wolverine? And without giving anything away, if you haven't read it, it involves a lot of
syphilis.
Yeah, pretty much. All those women he slept with over the last 100 years, pretty much finally caught up to him, and your body can only hold off adamantium poisoning and syphilis for so long. No, it goes back to his roots in the Weapon X program, and I like how they handled it, and it was pretty cool. But obviously there's talk these days of there still being Wolverine around in some capacity, and so wonder how long. The name certainly isn't staying dead. So did you guys read it? Did you guys like it?
I didn't like it.
Really?
I read most of it, but I don't think I ever finished it, honestly. I think I just kind of moved on to other things and didn't finish. I think I read all of it but the last episode or last issue, actually.
I bought them, but I hadn't got to read them.
I do agree with you, though. I think that the art was really good, and the storyline that I had read, and I'm not an X-Men person. I don't read any X-Men titles at all. The stuff that I did read up to the point where I stopped was not bad at all by any stretch of the imagination, and the artwork was all really good.
The artwork was cool. I liked how they brought back a lot of characters from Wolverine's past, and the entire thing it didn't quite feel forced, with oh, this person showed up and oh, this person showed up, but it was like they were trying to give
family reunion thing.
Yeah, almost not a reunion so much, but like everybody that was ever a major player in Wolverine's history, somehow an appearance at some point, which I thought was kind of cool because he goes to Japan, Kitty Pryde shows up, they at one point they have to fight against Ogun, who's the weird body possessing evil samurai spirit demon from the Kitty Pryde and Wolverine miniseries back in the 70s. They mentioned they mentioned his origin story. They mentioned there was a character from Wolverine origin in there. There was Deathstrike came back, and Mystique and Sabretooth, and so it was really neat how they at least I thought how they brought all that in, and I was pretty happy with it. But leading up to that, I had actually never read Wolverine Origin, the original one. This is the second one, but I I've got it, and so I went back and read those, and those are pretty good too. The original origin story. I mean, it's a little different reading it now because everybody knows, his real name and kind of knows his history. But like, I imagine when that came out, that like, it was a pretty big deal. It was like, holy shit, seeing Wolverine as a kid, like he finally revealing his real name after 20 some odd years. It was pretty decent. Origin 2 was not quite as good. It was like they were trying to make it as fancy as the first one, but but I don't know.
They tried too hard.
Yeah, it was like they tried too hard. I agree.
I don't remember was it? Maybe it was set. Which one is that? The one where he ends up with the polar bear at the beginning, and
yeah.
I don't remember making it much past him.
Yeah, it starts out
in the circus, like when he escapes, that girl lets him out or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's a girl and Sabretooth.
Sabretooth's like the mat, like the hunter, like the tracker or something.
Yeah, and there's a woman with him that's that's kind of like, I don't know, I guess she's got some sort of supernatural power too, where she can like calm and talk to animals or something. Yeah. But yeah, like he starts out in the wild living with wolves, and some crazed polar bear comes down, and I guess it's under the it was one of Mr. Sinister's experiments gone wrong or something. And
the bastard.
Yeah, and so like they go out and yeah, the major villain in it is Mr. Sinister, and which is kind of cool because he's still like, he doesn't have like the whole Mr. Sinister persona yet. He's still like Nathaniel Essex, and and so like he escapes the wild and tries to fit into, he gets captured, and he tries to, they put him in the circus for a while, and then he gets let out, and he ends up coming back because they've been abducting other people. Essex has been abducting other people and trying to do like experiments on shit, and he decides that he can put a stop to it. And so it's, I guess, when he sort of becomes decides he's going to become a hero. It was decent. It was just, they tried to capture the the artwork and the essence of the original comic, and while they did that to a certain degree, it just didn't feel like it had the importance of the first one. So and then I've also been reading Storm and Nightcrawler's solo series, because they tie into it a little bit, and also because I wanted to read them and I'm really behind on them. Storm is good. I haven't really liked her characterization in a lot of the team comics like recently that they've been doing, and so this one was actually cool because it kind of got down a little bit more to the root of the character, and like, they've been writing her a little more like, like how I see Storm. So I've enjoyed that one. Nightcrawler has been fun, but Chris Claremont's writing it, and I love Chris Claremont's X-Men run from like the mid 70s till the early 90s is still, in my opinion, like the best, like one of my favorite runs of comics ever, and certainly one of the best X-Men writers. But I don't know, like nowadays, like I'm reading this and it just doesn't, it feels like I'm trying to read, somebody that they pulled out of the 70s to write comics today. And it just feels a little awkward, like his writing style was great back then, but it hasn't really evolved much. And it feels a little too hokey in places.
Here's a question now. Is it more or less awkward than He-Man's haircut on your t-shirt? Because I can't get past that t-shirt you're wearing.
I mean, that's pretty much what He-Man's haircut looks like.
I know, and it's totally awkward every time I see it.
Why does he have a 14 on his chest?
Because it's supposed to be Andy Dalton as He-Man, and Bengals. This is a Bengals take on He-Man.
He looks like a male stripper.
Like, that's what He-Man does look
I mean,
like.
he's wearing a furry loincloth.
He looks like those dudes the from Dodgeball, the movie, when they get all dressed up in like S&M equipment to like, because they don't have their outfits. Nobody,
yeah,
nothing.
Story.
Nobody.
Yeah, I remember it, but I don't remember the haircut being involved in that.
No, I didn't say anything about the haircut.
Oh,
talking about the chest straps and
like he's got all
furry
they got all
underwear.
the chest straps and the All right, whatever. Continue. You guys are a bunch of lame ass.
That was pretty much it. So I'll let Brian talk about this week's comics.
All right, Topher.
I might even listen because I haven't read them yet, and I don't want to get them spoiled.
So tell us about you've been reading Secret Wars, right, Brian?
Yeah. This week was, I was gonna say episode 3, issue number 3 for Secret Wars, and without spoiling anything, they answer a lot of questions in this. I keep on going to say episode. Holy shit!
I do that a lot too.
Well, you're not far off because I imagine when we get to the news, there's something related to that.
But yeah. So this week was Secret Wars issue number 3, and they actually go into a lot of questions readers might have of what's going on. They, if you read issues 1 to 2, they in the first issue they find the arc with what happens to be Thanos in it and the little cabal. So everybody's been wondering where's the arc with like Reed Richards, with Black Panther, and they go into where they are, and they also answer within that this battle world has been going on for 8 years since the last 2 Earths collapsed, which would be in issue number 1 of Secret Wars. So they answered that. They answer like kind of what Doom was doing when he created this, that he was taking like bringing back pieces of each world that exploded and to create them together, and how nobody remembers their past existence before Battle World. And they also go and tell you that the Doctor Strange, that's his sheriff, is actually the Earth 616 Doctor Strange. They go into a lot of like little like answers for little questions here and there. I mean, I compare it to that that storyline that came out for DC recently that told you absolutely nothing.
Convergence?
Yeah, what was going on. That Secret Wars, like, it fulfills some of your questions for it with issue 3. So far, it's been, I think Secret Wars has been really good. I mean, what comes after Secret Wars, I'm sure we'll be talking about that in the news every so often. Might not look that great, though.
Yeah, we're gonna cover some of that today a little bit. Okay, let's take a moment and let's do a section that has been missing for a while.
What's in Chris's pocket?
You can hear, yeah. What's in Chris's pocket? You can hear Topher's reaction as he is scrambling to prepare for tabletop game of the week.
We need to keep a list of I forgot that has its own intro music.
I love it that you remembered to do the ad-libbed fucking by mouth intro song that is probably going to be different every single time we do it.
Every time.
Yeah, you can make sure you do an outro too when we're finished. If Topher just like straight ran away, I think we scared him off. He was like, this is not where I parked my car.
That intro was so legit. I gotta really fucking get a good one.
He's gonna go put on a shirt and tie or something.
Jump behind the couch, pop up like today.
Oh my gosh! I hope he like slides back in from the edge of the frame and does like a total infomercial. Well, hey there. Do you have a minute to talk about this tabletop game?
He should do a belly flop also.
Oh god. Oh, all right. Looks like Topher's back. He's figuring out some logistics of earbuds, it looks like right now, and we're gonna have some information on
figuring out how to work his headphones again.
Yes.
We really need to make a list of what we've done and what we haven't on this, because I'm probably about to start repeating stuff because I don't remember what we've done or not.
I got a tabletop game. It's called Tic Tac Toe.
Damn.
This week, a deck of cards.
You can draw it right on the top of the table. A deck of cards.
You can play so many different games with this single deck of cards.
I'm going to spend the next 45 minutes listing them.
Yeah. What do you got for us, Topher?
So this week, let's talk about Fantasy Flight's Star Wars Imperial Assault.
Ooh.
Is that like...
Wow. We got oohs and ahs.
Is that kind of like sexual assault?
It's a little bit like sexual assault, but you don't feel
not at all
gratified at the end, and you don't end up going to prison.
And no one cries.
Well, I don't know. It depends on who you're playing with. So Imperial Assault is kind of like, if you've ever heard of a game called Descent that Fantasy Flight made years ago. It's kind of similar to that in that there's actually a lot of freaking rule books. It's like pretty ridiculous. It's almost kind of like playing a tabletop RPG, you know, like Pathfinder or something like that. Except that it's a board game. So like you have characters that have abilities and stats and you can level them up, and there's actually a campaign of missions to play through. But the board is all like interlocking. If I can find them,
it's a teabag ability.
Well, here's one. Like the board is like interlocking pieces that you can make up. Like, you know, they've got two sides and, you know, different rooms that you can lock together and fit together to make a like a map out of. Like I haven't even punched all of them out. So like they come in these big freaking, you know, like things like this, and there's like little, you know, hallways and rooms and stuff that you can punch out and put together to make up a map. And it comes with a lot of plastic figures. You know, there's even an AT-AT in here, you know, but it's pretty cool. You've got a mission campaign guide where that's not it. There's like 5 frickin' rule books here. But like the campaign guide will, like, you know, tell you, you know, okay, set the map up like this, you know, here's the scenario. There's, you know, like several stormtroopers and a commander locked in a room. You have to get in there and disable their, you know, their comm radio, you know, and destroy, or they can send out a message to call for reinforcements, blah, blah, blah. You know, I mean, it's so like the it plays out very much like combat in like you know, in like an RPG, where
so not at all like sexual assault.
No, not actually.
Unless you have to go into that room with the stormtroopers and like put on a show, so you could woo them and get to their comm link and rig it.
So it's pretty cool, but there's actually 2 modes of play. There's the campaign mode where you know one person kind of plays the Imperials and everybody else takes control of a.
I love that this section has devolved into Topher getting out a game that he really, really enjoys and trying to like legitimately explain it to us while we try our absolutely hardest to just throw him off track.
There's 2 modes to play. There's full out Imperial Assault, and then there's heavy petting mode.
Heavy petting mode. Oh, God. Okay. Continue, Topher.
There's Imperial Assault and there's unwelcome Imperial advances.
Oh my God!
Oh fuck! I'm crying.
But anyway, so
see, somebody does cry in this game, and it's Pirate.
So here we go. Here's one of the character cards. You know, so you've got like a couple stats. Like everybody's got their own health and endurance and like attack values
width,
and
length, girth.
And as you complete as you complete a mission, you actually get XP that you can use to buy, like, there's some, like, item cards and stuff that have, like, better equipment and stuff. It's kind of cool. So, like,
ball
one
gags,
person plays
chains.
the, kind of like as the GM is the Imperial players, and the rest of them each, every other player controls one of the player characters and gets to go through the missions with the Imperial player runs.
I like how he chose Game Master and not Dungeon Master for this one.
Yeah, he knew exactly where that was going to go.
Then the other mode is actually called it's called Skirmish mode, where if you've ever played their X-Wing game, or like they've got Armada out now. Fantasy Flight makes these games where, like, you can have like a space battle, like a dogfight between X-Wings and TIE fighters and ships and stuff. It's kind of similar to that, only with ground battles. So you can actually, they have like hero players that you can buy like expansion packs for. Here's the money grab portion of the game. You can buy like these like here's a promo card for them, figure packs with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, or Chewbacca and Han Solo, and so you can get these characters. You get a little mini figurine for them in a stat card, and then you build up one of these maps. And then it's kind of like just a player versus player, like you figure out how many points your army's worth, and you try and build up an army, deploy to that, value, and then you just, fight each other, and last man standing wins.
Is it kind of like when Wizards of the Coast first started getting into the whole Dungeons and Dragons? They had that Dungeons and Dragons chainmail. Do you remember that? It was like 2003-ish. They had something similar to like that. It was called Dungeons and Dragons Chainmail, and you could buy these like packs of miniatures, and they had card values.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Hero Clicks or the D&D miniatures, or there's a few other kind of like a miniatures based game where you've got like minis, and they've all got stat cards, and you can buy like expansion packs of them separately, but it doesn't really have like the mystery figurine, like the collectible, like open it up and hope for a rare kind of thing to it.
What you're getting.
You know what you're getting. It's if you've ever seen their Fantasy Flight's X-Wing game, it's a lot like that. In that you buy a specific expansion, you know what you're getting. There aren't a freaking million of them. But then two players each build up a team worth X number of points, and then fight until only one survives. And so it's kind of like a land army battle version, miniatures battle.
How many players is this game?
I mean, if you do skirmish mode, it's just probably two, or it's two teams. I mean, unless two people play, you could do like a 2 versus 2 and have twice as many figurines out there, I guess. But the campaign mode, I think there's actually even a single player variant where you can like
play with.
Maybe
yourself.
I'm wrong about that. Yeah. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. I don't know how a single-player version of this would work.
To play with yourself while penetrating the rebel forces.
Maybe there's a challenge mode or something that I was thinking of that like lets you set something up and try to accomplish a goal in a certain number of turns or something. But I mean, if you're playing like the campaign mode, you have to have one person who's running the game, and then you can have up to probably like 6 other people actually playing the campaign, I think. So pretty decent range of number of players on this one.
What dice system does it use?
It has its own, actually. It's proprietary.
Is it all 6-sided?
It's all 6-sided dice.
Oh
They come with the game though. They're proprietary ones. They've got like hit and miss markers on them, and like range markers, and the white one's like a force die that has certain effects. So I mean, like each weapon tells you like what you roll to. So like you can see like the little bursts or hits, and the I don't know, the little black dice with the star, the little triangles, or or like evades, and the numbers are range increments and stuff. So I mean, like it's got its own dice, but it comes with the game. So
the only Star Wars game I've ever played in the 90s, they had the RPG game,
the West End D6.
it was about 1 million D6.
Yeah.
I was like, this is so fucking stupid.
So it looks like
this stealing all this shit.
It looks like this game, Star Wars Imperial Assault, you can find it on Amazon for $68.73.
Really? Damn. It's cheaper than what I paid for it.
So
it's marked retail in stores at like $100, I think. I got it on some 20% off sale, but 68, yeah, that's a little better.
That is the board game tabletop game of the week. Oh my god. That's quickly becoming my favorite section of the podcast. I'm not gonna lie. Just the fact that we just all kind of gang up on Topher and try to make it awkward for him to be able to explain the mechanics of some entirely complex board game while we just throw out random sexual references. It's pretty fulfilling, I'm not gonna lie.
I think like every day, really, to me.
I think the best was Ticket to Ride. I don't know. That one, there was a lot of them in that one. This one was pretty good, though. The fucking Imperial Assault.
Imperial Anal Assault. And looks like Brian
lost cell phone connection.
I got so excited, I just can't hide it.
All right, let's kind of change gears and let's start talking about some news. The first piece of news that I thought we'd talk about today was I don't know if this was well known or it just kind of came to my attention when I found an article about it, but Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, will not be in the Captain America Civil War movie, which I thought was really, really strange.
I think there's what I read on that. I think is he's renegotiating his contract with Marvel, and that's the reason why it's not being renegotiated within time for that film.
Motherfucker, give me some money.
Still, I don't understand. I don't understand how they're going to make Civil War without Samuel L. Jackson. He's been such a pivotal character in basically every movie that has to do with any of the Avengers.
They have winged him back though a lot.
He's the one who brought them together. But so in a way, it kind of makes sense that he would not be in the picture for this one, and they start fighting amongst themselves. If he's there, I see him acting as more of a referee or the voice of reason in that situation, in the cinematic universe to say, hey, bitch slap him and quit fighting. Let's fight the bad guys, whereas if he's not around, then I can see it devolving into a, heroes fighting other heroes kind of situation.
All of a sudden magically not be there, or do you think that they're going to address this within the story?
Well, they already did. At the end of Winter Soldier, he disappeared into hiding into Europe, basically to go find the people that were doing Bucky's transformation into Winter Soldier and whatnot, and he went over there to try and kind of be out of it for a while, and he wasn't. Has there been another movie since then? What was?
He was in a little bit.
Was he in Avengers 2?
And he was in Avengers 2, the very end. But he's not been.
Which was a big part. He brought an old helicarrier back to save everybody with a bunch of people manning it.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean he has to be. I think with him, he's pretty much been. They've kind of portrayed his character now to where if he doesn't show up, it makes sense. If he does show up, it's a bonus. You know what I mean? You got to think he's still dead, to pretty much everybody. A lot of people still think he's dead.
There are already so many characters in this movie. They've released a pretty huge list of characters for it. So I'm okay with him not being in every movie. He doesn't have to be. The interview with him that I read, he basically said, yeah, he's I guess I'm not in this one. They didn't ask me to be. I saw the list of characters. I'm not on it. He's but yeah, he's he had said that his contract was kind of, up but that he said that he wanted to he wanted back in. He wanted to be doing more of these. So, I mean, it sounded like it was something that, like, had they asked him and said, "Hey, can we get a contract together so that, you can be in this movie?" He would have said, "Hell yeah." So, I imagine they didn't necessarily need that character in the script for this one.
Could be. All right, here's a bit of news that I'm sure Brian's going to be excited about. Marvel has
Batman versus Superman.
No, Marvel has screen tested 6 potential actors for the role of Spider-Man. Tom Holland, Asa Butterfield, Judah Lewis, Matthew Lintz, Charlie Plummer, and Charlie Rowe. Now, out of those, I guess it's rumored that the 2 leading prospects, I guess to call them, is Tom Holland and Asa Butterfield. I'm not sure what either of these people have ever been in.
Yeah, you are, because we talked about it on Free Comic Book Day. Asa Butterfield was Ender in Ender's Game. I even showed you his picture and everything.
That's right, you did. I remember that now. And what about Tom Holland? Who's that?
Yeah, him I don't know as well.
He is
from Holland. Did we lose Chris again? Oh no, there.
Did we? No, what? Huh?
You froze for a second.
I'm like, I heard you.
He has not really been in very much at all. He's been in a few.
Yeah, I don't imagine many of these people to have a lengthy resume, because the idea here is they were looking for someone high school age. They want somebody who actually looks like a high school student. So when they put him, against these other heroes, it's like, wow, like that really looks like a kid. Like they want the, they want the. We need to show this kid the ropes, like here's a kid who really doesn't know what to do, like, not necessarily old enough to make his own.
I think we lost Chris now.
All right, and that'll be it for Topher right now, I think.
But I think what he was trying to say is they are looking for somebody that he'll look like he's in high school for a while and not be like 30 and look like he's in high school like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
Somebody who could act out the high school age for a while.
Yeah.
And Asa Butterfield, what's his name? Asa?
Asa Butterfield.
Yeah, I mean, he looks like, I'm not sure, quite certain on his age, but he looks like he's like 18. No, he doesn't look like he's 18. I think he actually is around 17, 18 years old, but he still looks younger than that.
Asa Butterfield was born in 1997.
Oh, maybe he's younger than that?
So he's like 16?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's why he looks like he's 16.
Yeah, he's pretty young. So that would be, I mean, I could see that, like looking at a couple of his pictures here, I could see him as a younger Peter Parker. I think that would be a good fit.
Wait, no, he's 18.
Okay,
1997.
fair enough. He looks like he's 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he'd fit the part. I don't know what the other guy looks like. Tom Holland.
He also looks very young as well. Now, have you guys gotten to see the new Ant-Man trailer?
The
one that was like a month ago, 3 weeks ago,
a week ago, this week.
I think this is newer, like this week.
Oh, then no, I have not seen that yet.
This was, let's see.
Hold on.
Yeah, this was this past week.
Hold on.
Brian,
and that's my in-depth analysis of what I think of all the Spider-Man actors.
Nice. Topher, have you seen the new Ant-Man trailer that came out this week?
I have not.
Gosh, I'm the only person that saw it. Brian,
good.
Did you see it?
I didn't know there was a new one.
I might have. The one where it starts off with like clips from like all the like Avengers, all the heroes.
No.
Oh, then I did not see that.
No.
I didn't even know there was a new one.
Yeah, it just came out this week. I can try and send it to you guys real quick.
That's why I'm voltage.
It is.
Oh, there it is.
It's
2.5 minutes.
It's pretty good. I'm impressed. I didn't see myself as really being excited to see Ant-Man. I thought it had potential, but I didn't like. I was just kind of on the fence about it, I guess. I wasn't like overly excited, but now I kind of want to see this movie. I think it looks pretty good.
I'm so excited.
I think that
it's a Marvel movie. You were going to see it anyway.
Oh yeah, but I think that the opportunity in this particular movie for the special effects is just massive. Like I think they could do a ton of really, really cool stuff that they wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to do, just because of the powers of the Ant-Man suit and things. I think it's going to be really neat.
He could spy on chick showering.
Wow.
Okay, I just watched it.
But
what did you think, Pirate?
I thought it was pretty good. I thought this one was a little bit more. It wasn't as big on the action scenes. It was all based on like his
humor, kind of.
His shrink scenes.
See what he did there? It wasn't big on the action.
Yeah, I mean they even have the scene in there where he's like,
because he's Ant-Man, because the action is small.
Yeah, why don't you pick on somebody your own size type thing? Which
I think they're trying to really give it the same kind of comedic feel that Guardians of the Galaxy had, where it's kind of a family, very, very family friendly, fun feel to it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Phase 4 is going to be all humored versions of our favorite characters.
What is it?
Phase 4 will have all humored version of all our favorite characters. Punisher will have confetti guns.
Speaking of Punisher, hey, I think that's all going to be. I think Netflix is saying their second phase is going to include the Punisher.
They need to do something right with the Punisher because pretty much everything out there, Punisher is pretty awful. I'm not going to lie.
A TV show, I think, would be able to do it justice.
A gritty TV show would be the perfect medium for that.
I would agree with that completely. They've been pushing. Netflix has been, and I don't know if this is to like gauge interest in the character or what, but Netflix has been pushing the Punisher movie on Netflix pretty heavily.
Really?
Yeah, it's
the one
like
with
basically no matter
the Dolph
what.
Lundgren one where he's butt naked on the bath at the end.
No, the one with like Thomas Jane.
Yeah,
and John Travolta.
No matter what you've been watching, like it comes up as like recommended for you. And it's always in the trending section and in the popular on Netflix section, like no matter what. So it's I don't know. That movie is pretty awful. I'm sorry. I didn't like that one. There are worse comic book movies, but
they did capture good points of the characters, but there was some that it's like they never got it as a whole.
Yeah,
like
I just think they bounced back and forth too much between trying to be like comic booky and then like on the opposite end trying to be like hardcore realistic action film, like at times. And it didn't, the way that they just like kind of bounced from one to the other and didn't just kind of keep the same feel throughout the movie just lost it for me.
I don't think I ever did see Warzone, the other movie.
It's pretty brutal.
Warzone was pretty crappy because they tried to really do all comic book in that one.
Wasn't that the lowest grossing comic book movie ever made?
Yeah, and that one was the one that Marvel Knights put out, which was Marvel Knights was the
that's like their mature rated imprint.
Yeah, where they did like the Ghost Riders and stuff like that. The one with Thomas Jane that's on there, they did. I thought that one was probably was good as far as it wasn't comic book. It was basically just like a strict take on like the series, like I don't know this, like with the whole gangster with the John Travolta and his family thing. But the one with Dolph Lundgren, that one could have been better. But I think they did that movie too soon. Like the comic book, the Punisher solo comic books had only been out for maybe 3 or 4 years when they made that movie, so they really didn't have a lot to go on other than that he was just a crazy vigilante.
You know what I mean? Not that one either.
I guess that statement's not really true. It looks like there's much older movies that didn't do as well, but one of which is Kick-Ass 2, did awful at the box office.
The Kick-Ass movies were
Kick-Ass 2, and the only thing that on this website Oh, wait a minute. Never mind. There's 35 more.
I never saw the second Kick-Ass movie.
Billy and Buddy, don't know. 13 Sins.
Oh, I thought you said Billy and Buddy made 13 cents. I'm like, wow, that's pretty low.
Dylan Dog, Dead of Night. Wow, some of these are awful. Barbed Wire.
Oh God.
Oh yeah.
Pamela Anderson one.
Steel with Shaquille
O'Neal
in it. Yeah, that didn't even do 100 or didn't even do $1 million opening weekend. That's crazy. Yeah, there's some.
Wait, it didn't do $100. It didn't do $100.
It didn't do $1 million.
Oh,
no,
I thought
million.
you said $100.
No. But yeah, Punisher Warzone is pretty low. Out of 135, it's 118. So it's pretty far down the list. But so is some stuff that I like. I like Jonah Hex is on there. It's pretty low. I liked Jonah Hex.
Jonah Hex I thought was really good.
I liked that movie. Did Topher? Did you see that one, Brian?
Nope.
No, I didn't like it.
I liked that one.
I think I
That
bought
had Megan Fox.
I think I've even got it sitting
Megan
up
Fox
on
was
the
in
shelf.
that one.
The bargain bin find, and I still haven't watched it.
Yeah,
Yep.
she was the
Or
female lead character or whatever.
Huh? I don't remember her.
Let's see.
usually we don't when she's in a movie.
James Gunn announced that he has finished writing his first draft of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which will be solely written by him this time, not by a team of writers like Guardians of the Galaxy 1. Any thoughts on
that
this?
Could be good or could be bad, depending on what parts he wrote of the first
Or a little
one.
bit of both.
I think he did an amazing job in the first one. I mean, there were other writers I think that helped, and there will probably be there will be editors who go through the script and and suggest some things. They probably not enough to get a writing credit, but I mean, I doubt he'll be the only one to look it over. And he did an amazing job with the first one. He wrote and directed it, so I'm excited for the second one.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I think it's a little bit of a gamble. I think that when you have something as successful as Guardians of the Galaxy was, and you kind of use that collaborative writing setup that they had, and it turned out as good as it did. If it's not broke, why fix it? Why change it? Like, clearly you had the recipe for success there. Why take the unnecessary risk of changing the formula to get a good product? I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to be good, but I'm saying there's a little bit of risk there, because with a team of writers, you have multiple opinions. If something that you like doesn't necessarily make sense, but you're excited about it, it could end up being in the movie and not being quite as good, whereas that could have gotten nixed in a creative session with multiple opinions. So I don't know how I feel about it. Let's see. Brian, you had you heard a rumor about what?
I don't. I was trying to figure out I'm like, I don't remember other people writing that the first script. So I went back and looked it up. Apparently, Nicole Perlman wrote the original script, and then Gunn took it over to. He was brought in to contribute to it, and then he ended up rewriting the entire script entirely because it didn't work for him the way that he wanted to do it, that he wanted to direct it and whatnot. And so the draft that it started out as was very different from the one that he ended up using, including different character arcs and just stories, and I guess it didn't have the Walkman in it and everything. So I guess it looks like while multiple people had a writing credit on it, it wasn't like it was a collaboration. It was more like somebody else wrote a first draft, and then James Gunn pretty much rewrote it completely himself.
Well, then maybe this is the recipe for success. Maybe this one will be even better.
That would make more sense as to why they're letting him take full reins.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian, you mentioned that you'd heard a rumor about the direction that the Incredible Hulk will be taking post Secret Wars in the comic books.
Yeah, they didn't have too much info on it yet because it's just a rumor, but supposedly the Ultimate Fantastic Four's Reed Richards is becoming the Hulk, going to be the new Hulk. What they said in the first article was that when we find out who the Hulk is, it's going to create as much controversy as the finding out that the new Thor was a woman had.
So they're just doing it just to do it. Sweet. Way to go, Marvel.
It seems like that. I mean, we don't know until we read it, but they said it is story driven. That there's going to be a big story behind it and why.
I don't understand why. I mean, obviously, I'm partial to this because Hulk is one of my favorite characters, but I just don't. I don't understand why they would just go and change a fucking character completely. Like, I mean, it'd be just like taking Batman and changing him to a completely different. Oh, Batman's not Bruce Wayne anymore. It's like
it's Dick Grayson because Bruce Wayne is dead.
But that makes
or he's Azrael because Batman's back was broken by Bane.
Okay, but listen to what you're saying. Like, it at least makes sense that Dick Grayson would be.
And how do you know it's not going to make sense in this case?
Because it's a whole different.
Because
if it was
because it's Doug's pet character.
No, because Dick Grayson was fucking Batman's. He was Bruce Wayne's protege for decades.
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Wayne's protege for decades.
Yeah,
there's no real relation between. I mean, wouldn't it make more sense for it to be what's A-Bomb to become the new Hulk?
Rick Jones.
Rick Jones.
Yeah, I mean by your correlation, that's who it should be, not somebody from a completely different title of comic books that has nothing to do with the event that took place that created that superhero.
See, I'm just running a timer and waiting to see how long it takes for you to use the word gimmick.
Gimmick.
I mean, I just think it's garbage. It's not even a gimmick.
No,
it's just trash.
I don't know why they're doing it.
The gimmick and went straight to the trash.
But I mean, like, they do this with characters all the time, though. I mean, like, I know you don't necessarily care for the choice here.
Give me one other example of where they just completely changed, other than Thor, where they just completely changed a superhero to a whole different person.
Well, they actually, Wolverine's getting changed to a different person. Let's see here. Spider-Man was completely taken over by a villain for
Captain America.
For a year. Captain America is now a completely different person.
The Wolverine thing is kind of like the Dick Grayson becoming Batman.
And the Spider-Man thing is irrelevant because it's a person from the same comic book, so... Tell me one where a person from a whole different comic series.
Spider-Man one was
Superman.
You've never read Ultimate Hulk or Ultimate Reed Richards, so you don't really know exactly what the connection is there.
There is no connection.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that. Shut up.
There was no connection in the Superman comics when Superman died.
Yes, there was.
The 4 that they brought back? No.
Yeah.
They only 2 of them.
Superboy was a clone.
So what you're saying is they're doing something original that's never been done before.
Yeah. John Steele wasn't.
John Steele was a super fan that Superman saved.
Okay, a fan.
A super fan.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing here on this one, but like they're changing a lot of stuff. It's going to be interesting to see. Like they've released some details about like post Secret Wars.
It would be like them taking Cyclops and saying, you know what, Cyclops, that Scott Summers is not Cyclops anymore. It's going to be Betty Ross. It's going to be the Cyclops.
She would make a decent Cyclops, I think. I mean, she's Red She-Hulk, so I mean, she could probably. I mean, yeah, she could pull it off. I think she'd look good in the costume anyway.
Is she going to make a new American flag?
Yeah.
What?
He can stay calm about it because it's not actually happening.
That's Betsy Ross.
Betsy Ross. Yeah, whatever. You know what I meant.
No, you said Betty Ross.
Yeah.
I said
Betsy Ross.
I said the wrong Betsy. Betsy.
All right, whatever. I'm done telling you about it. The last bit of news, Topher. It looks like Topher's gone again because I don't know, his AOL is running out of minutes or something.
Put a new disc in, Topher, hurry.
Look, he just made a headshot. We should send it out to different companies.
Fallout 4 is rumored to be coming out this year. I don't know. I know, Pirate, you've played some of the Fallout series. Brian, have you played any of it?
Yeah, I played the original Fallout and the last one that came out.
New Vegas.
No, the one that New Vegas was DLC.
No, New Vegas
No,
was.
New Vegas
It was a completely really.
Yeah.
Well, shucks.
I played Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Was the only one that I've played. I liked it. It was a lot.
I liked it. Like I love the game starting out, and then after about a week, I am so tired of running around. Like the Fallout 3, I got so tired of running around chasing a radio signal that I was like, I'm done with this. New Vegas was way better in my opinion, because it kept you more like in line to do free range missions. Fallout 4, it may be the thing to get me to buy a new generation system, but I'll probably get burned out on it inside of like 2
get it on
weeks.
Steam.
I have a Mac, man. Nothing is on. I can play nothing on Macs that I want to play. It's not coming out.
That's your fault.
For Apple.
Yep, that's what I told him.
Hey, it's not my fault that I use a computer outside of gaming.
I use my computer outside of gaming too.
So do I.
But mine continually works.
Mine works all the time.
Mine works too.
Sucker.
It's good to roll. Good to roll. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, they released a screenshot from Fallout 4 that it's a 4K image and it's pretty spectacular. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I wouldn't expect any less from that franchise either, though. Like, I don't know that it was quite enough to like get me really, really excited about it, but they're kind of one of those games that you would expect the scenery, the detail, the level of graphics to be just flawless, especially with the technology that's out there. So I don't know that this is like, like a tipping point for me that like, oh wow, this is really great or anything like that. I want to know more about like the gameplay mechanics and the storyline before I would invest in something like that, because like you said, Pirate, the games themselves, you have to be willing to invest literally hundreds of hours if you want to get through the story mode on these games, because they're just massive campaign games with just infinite numbers of options that you can take when you're playing through them. Kind of like Skyrim.
Didn't they make Skyrim?
Elder Scroll Bethesda. Yeah,
they made Skyrim. But my thing from what I've gathered with the new Fallout is that it takes place in Boston, and everybody was speculating that it was going to be Boston because they've been super under wraps about the game. But they actually had live scouts out, and they scouted a bunch of areas in Boston to convert to this like
post-apocalyptic.
Post-apocalyptic scenarios, and so their attention to detail has been quite. I mean, I imagine the game mechanics are going to be the same. Obviously, probably smoother because that's what they've always done with like Fallout 3 and then New Vegas was the same thing. I don't know, but the thing that scares me the most is that this is being on the new gen consoles, which they have more room to like make this already huge game grow. Yeah. I'm actually scared, like hundreds of hours might be thousands of hours, or tens of thousands. Like if it's even possible to even beat this game. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely interested in it. I think I'm kind of with you. I don't think that I'll get this one for the computer. I think I'll probably lean towards getting this one for the PlayStation 4. I imagine there will be some level of multiplayer to it. So from that aspect, it would be more fun to have.
I don't know if they will have multiplayer because they've never been a multiplayer company.
That's true, but I don't know. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. There's very few details out about the game now, but
if they made Elder Scrolls, then
no, they made Skyrim.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
there'll be tons of DLC.
Yeah.
In your butt.
It'll be like every 2 or 3 months you'll probably get like just some huge, like a whole new game almost.
Yeah, I'm sure. So, well, Topher is still struggling to get back in, but unfortunately we're about out of time and pretty much out of news at this juncture.
And we should hang on. We should hang on after this when Topher gets back on. Make him think we're still on.
Just to see how long he'll keep trying to join. All right. Well, that's it for this week. I'm Fox 2. We got Pirate.
Everyone have a great week.
And Topher will probably jump back in, but we won't be able to hear him. And then the whole F and Brian.
Everybody have an amazing week.
Oh, now you're trying to copy me and one-up me, huh?
Hell yeah.